This is not a joke. Pokemon news is dropping tomorrow, and I've got you with the full breakdown. Let's take a look. Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka Drive. I bring you guys a brand new video today, and it is a wonderful day as we have been counting down, and we were correct. I mean, I guess if you say every day is gonna be the announcement, then you'll eventually be right, but I pretty much nailed it, right? It's happening, man. Tomorrow on the 1st of the month, they are dropping a new trailer at 9 a.m. Eastern or 6 a.m. Pacific time. And it's gonna be perfect to watch. I'm gonna actually be streaming it on twitch.tv/adrive. That's where I do all my live streams almost every single day. So tune in, you can watch it at 9 a.m. Eastern. We'll have all the time zones on the screen for you here. KG, don't forget, and you guys can tune into my live streams. I'll be live the hour before at 8 a.m. Eastern. So again, tune in, it's gonna be awesome, twitch.tv/adrive. Otherwise, hit that like button down below and subscribe because you do not wanna miss the news. I'm gonna have it here on the channel pretty much right away after we react to it live. It's gonna be massive, and I got a lot of other things to cover in this video as I was about to make another video regarding the Riddlers. So this is like perfect timing. We get to announce this massive trailer. We're hyped about it, and then we're diving into the Riddler and kind of everything going on with leaks. One final recap before kind of the big reveal, right? So it's gonna be awesome. So we have a lot to dive into. Check out teamshiny.com if you want to pick up some sweet merch. We got great designs. Seriously, use code SUMMER. Get 15% off right now if you pick up 3 shirts or more. You don't want to miss that deal because you want to look nice heading in to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We got the brand new starters and much, much more. So check them out. But again, a lot to talk about here. I'm very amped up right now. This news announcement's huge. So Soul Silver comes out with a really big tweet. We're going to recap that. But first, let's talk Riddler. The Riddler says, riddles for June shall begin in a couple hours. I said you'd react meh to it because it's an old pick. If you chose the other 3, you would have been provided with 2.5 brand new pictures. Kind of sad, huh? So what they're saying is there was a poll a few weeks back saying, what do you want the theme or motif for June to be? And people voted that they wanted the starters, as you would kind of expect. Here's the thing though. We think that the old pick that's kind of meh is this pick of Pokemon Masters, which shows Decidueye, Typhlosion, and Samurott, and then if you notice the gear typings above, potentially Riddler Coup, hinting or alluding to the fact that Decidueye is going to be, or not Decidueye, but Sprigatito rather, the grass starter is going to be a dark type evolution. The fire starter is going to be a ghost type evolution, which many have speculated over Fuecoco, and then the water starter is going to be fighting type, which would be very interesting to see. So time will tell on that. There has been some rumors and things of that nature that have kind of aligned with that thought process. But that's what people are thinking that the Riddler is kind of talking about. Now, the Riddler goes on to make another post here. And again, we've got a lot to break down about Soul Silver's post, but the Riddler makes another post saying, I just noticed that WR still in May, we're still in May, and RF for May, right? So RF, original forms, was the topic of May. I'm always generous, so we should give a bit of love to second place. I mentioned regional form and cognitive inertia both. Did anyone ever query what extra regional form or RF could possibly mean besides that RF? By the way, this fan art somehow nailed it. And it goes back to the Cloud Ditto. Or Diglett rather. So what they're saying is RF is short for regional form, right? But what he's saying is what else could RF be short for that could be a very important terminology in regard to this riddle? So we have a couple different ideas here. One of which is it could be referencing rock flying, which would be Diglett's regional form type. It could be referencing radiant form, which is a new mechanic in the TCG. Maybe they do something with that. Then you've got regional form, obviously, is the term we've been using. So it's another word other than regional form. And then you've got rainbow form. So those are just some ideas I had. If you guys have any other ideas about what RF could possibly mean, let me know. But this is interesting because it could mean that we're getting a regional form of Diglett. Not that this Cloud Diglett is a thing, but there may be another regional form for Diglett. And it's not like they're averse to having multiple regional forms for the same Pokemon. They did it with Meowth, right? So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. And then further, interestingly enough, Ku then later retweets this Pokemon Co. Japanese Twitter post, which is about Diglett's Easy t-shirt from Original Stitch. They're releasing out just a little Diglett video, something going on with Diglett. So kind of maybe coincidental, teasing about Diglett. We'll have to wait and see if there's actually anything relevant there. Is this Diglett going to be important? Are we getting a new regional form or so on and so forth? Then we're gonna switch gears back to Soul Silver. They did a really cool recap. I think it's only fitting that we do a recap here of talking about everything that the Riddler has kind of brought and everything that's kind of laid out on the table here heading into this announcement tomorrow. So the timing cannot be more perfect. So we'll kind of break it all down. We've got Ku's riddles. There's 3 types potentially, or the number 3 is related to the kind of gimmick of the game, whatever that is, Megas, Dynamax, whatever. The number 3 is probably important. A lot of people have speculated 3 types. We believe that the legendaries are Dragon and Fighting and Dragon and Electric as the typings. First time we'll have Dragon legendaries since Gen 5. Again, this is rumors, riddles, not confirmed, but heavy speculation. We believe that there's some sort of aspect of riding the legendaries. Maybe you're riding these legendaries, they're transport Pokemon, much like you could ride on Solgaleo through wormholes, or you could fly on the Laddies in ORAS. There's most likely some sort of a regional form for Tauros, which has 3, the number 3 is important. There was 3 Tauros, so that was a riddle. Maybe that is important, maybe it has 3 horns, 3 heads, I don't know. Then there's some other vague thoughts about the riddles, box legendary themes, some sort of a theme between traditional and past, or kind of more modern and kind of old school, futuristic. So you've got like a past and future kind of thing going on there. That's a theme that a lot of people are speculating based on the first trailer we got, kind of the riddles we've had. There's a belief that there's gonna be a regional form for Wooper or Quagsire or Whiscash or Gastrodon, based on the fact that he posted those hex codes for water and ground. We talked about the starters already, Grass and Dark, Fire and Ghost, and Water and Fighting. There's gonna be a new object Pokemon, could be based on a clock is what the most recent kind of speculation is. A new Waifumon, so like Gardevoir-esque waifu Pokemon. And then he goes on to say that there's some riveting regional forms. Then they go, Gen 9's got too many cool and creative designs. So saying that there's gonna be a lot of Pokemon and a lot of really good designs. That's kind of what the Riddler has indicated. So a lot to be excited for Scarlet and Violet. Goes on to talk about some Masuda hints here. Could there be a regional bird based on the spotless starling or the eagle? And then we've got the Barcelos rooster, which has been a common kind of point of discussion in the community over the last few months. Is there gonna be a Pokemon based on the Barcelos rooster? And is it gonna be the, the legendary perhaps? Then we've got the Chinese Uncle, which had that big post that came out. A lot of information saying that, Scarlet and Violet was trademarked in 2008. A lot of the content that got cut from other games is actually in this game. So it's almost like an amalgamation of different ideas. The number of Pokemon is like Gen 1, 3, and 5, so like about 130, 140 Pokemon is what we're speculating in terms of new Pokemon and regional forms. This also talked about a Tauros evolution or form. This talked about the Ratoncito Perez, Dedenne, like Tooth Fairy rodent regional form that was kind of discussed. And then this was also saying that there was a lot of kind of hints in previous games like Legends Arceus. Then there's some other stuff that Soul Silver goes to break down here about a potential 3rd legendary. Maybe there's a 3rd typing, regional forms for Magikarp or Dustox. Just some kind of talks about those particular Pokemon just because they have been kind of tossed around at times. And there's been some other things going on. I think that's kind of the main stuff though. Eclipse has made some tweets, discussing some things, but nothing super concrete there. So I think that we've got a lot that we can work with here, and ultimately with this trailer coming tomorrow, we're gonna get some very quick answers to a lot of these questions. I wouldn't expect to see starter evolutions, but I do expect to see new Pokemon and regional forms, and very likely the legendary Pokemon as well. So that's what you have to be excited about. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be nuts. I'm so pumped. So that's that. Don't forget to come to our live stream at 9 a.m. Eastern time. I'll be live the hour before, so 8 a.m. Eastern time on twitch.tv/adrive. We're gonna have a crazy launch party for this. It's gonna be nuts. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so excited to get some news, man. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys on the next one. It's gonna be a great day. I'm very excited. I'm very excited.